Hey, what's up, YouTube family? It's your favorite black guy from Nebraska. Yes, there's plenty of black people here in Nebraska. I did yesterday's content, and I went back further into the chapter, or in the beginning of this chapter, and left out some pivotal information in regards to the black people of China, the black tribes of China. So I wanted to go ahead and give you guys the black communities of China part of this book. When the World Was Black, the Untold History of the World's First Civilizations, Part 1, Prehistoric Culture. I want to say this. I know my videos aren't extremely advanced, super advanced. I don't have the best editing. I'm just reading out of a book. So my videos are, my more recent videos was better able for you to listen to it while you're working, while you're doing something else, while you're driving. You know, just pop this in and just listen to the information, because this is great information. You know, I don't have all the graphics and all that good stuff going on. I used to, but you know what? I found things easier for me. I'm very more, when it comes to this content, I'm at my best when I'm just reading the information and you're able to listen to the information, because I'm not a great editor. You know what I mean? I'm not super advanced when it comes to technology. So this is the best that I can do with the information that I have. And I have a lot of great information. So I hope you guys enjoy this book. We're going to go ahead and continue with the China, and we're going to continue with the black history of China. The black communities of China. As you will see, many of these ethnic groups were originally described as black. Many of these people are the black minorities of an already small minority group. For example, as with the black Miao, there is also a black subgroup of the Lolo, the Hilolo, as well as black Thai. The Lipo tribe of He Lisu, or Black Lisu, is a minority in East Yunnan. Their language is very different from the rest of the Lisu group to whom they belong. They are also use a different script. The name of the Lisu themselves, who are also known simply as Li, derives them from Li Tzu, or Black Sun. Russian-born Peter Golart lived among the Naki people and became immersed in their culture. In his classic memoir, The Forgotten Kingdom, Golart connects these groups with the Naki. The Naki, Burmese, and Black Lolos, along with the Tibetans, belong to a racial subdivision called the Burmo-Tibetan stock. They do resemble each other to a degree. Their languages and dialects have a common root. According to a 1933 study by Dr. Joseph Rock, the ancient Naki kingdom of southwest China, the Naki people of China were once an unmixed Negro population numbering over 200,000, who inhabited the region for several millennia. According to Frank Labar's Ethnic Groups of Mainland Southeast Asia, the name Naki means black man. Naki means black man, and was given to these people because of their dark complexions. The Naki still retain a hieroglyphic-like style of writing. So hieroglyphs known as Dungba, which is primarily used by shamans who preserve their oldest traditions. The Forgotten Kingdom, Golart describes similar traditions among the Black Lolo, no relation to Shawty Lo. He's just being funny. Yeah, that's funny. Such as their secret libraries of manuscripts written in a hieroglyphic script made of circles, half moons, swastikas, and tomb and rhombs, diamonds. The Black Lolo really let outsiders gain similar access to their culture. And I just want to go back to that swastika. You know what people do is they take things that don't belong to them, and then they turn it into something that it was never supposed to be, such as the swastika, and such as the Confederate flag. The Confederate flag belonged to an indigenous group of American Indians before anybody hijacked it and turned into a flag that meant hate. Such in the swastika, similar to that, the same thing happened with that as well. Thus, Golart's notes as especially enlightening. He writes, the Black Lolo always means the noble Lolo, or as they call themselves in Chinese, He Koto, the black bone. Actually, The word Lolo is derogatory and should never be used to their face. It is best to refer to them in conversation as he, the black E, for an unwary choice of the word may mean distant death. I prefer to call them the noble Lolos because they were, as a whole tribe, the most noble looking I have seen in my life. They are very tall and are regal bearing. Their complexion is in no wise black, but like certain mulattoes, of a chocolate and cream tint. Their eyes are large and liquid, with a fire always burning in them, and their features are aquiline and almost Roman. What does that say about the Romans? Their hair is black, slightly wavy, and very soft, and its arrangement is a distinctive feature of all Lolos. It is gathered throughout a hole at the top of their dark blue or black turbans and hangs as a limp tail, or more often springs up like a miniature palm tree, supported by a sheath of black strings. The hair of Lolo is sacred, and no one is supposed to touch it under the pain of death. They believe that the divine spirit communicates with man through the exposed lock of his hair. What does that sound like? Sounds like black people. Which, like upstanding antenna or the aerial of a wireless set, conveys the spiritual impulses like waves to a receiver to the brain. Golart goes on to describe how the black Lolo loved nothing more than to engage in guerrilla warfare against the ruling Chinese, luring these soldiers into ambushes. No battle against the black Lolo, Golart says, has been a decisive victory. He continues, even at present time, it is reported the Lolos still remain unconquered. The new Chinese regime has demanded the surrender of their arms and their submission to the new government. Instead, the black Lolos have arranged the withdrawal of all their clansmen and their families who lived in the outer exposed mountain slopes to the main ranges of the Tailngshan. At a great conclave, a king was elected to lead them, a drastic and almost unprecedented measure, which is only resorted to in a very grave emergency when the existence of the whole race is at stake. This sounds a lot like some of the cultural changes we'll cover in part 2. These people observe a strict social code and place great emphasis on chivalry, righteousness, honor, and etiquette. And he's talking about a group of black Chinese. Golart adds, the white Lolos are not related racially to the black Lolos, so there's a distinct difference. Originally, they were of Chinese and other tribal stock, captured and enslaved by the Lolos. No black Lolo might marry a white Lolo, and did so only under pain of death. Romances between the castes were strictly taboo. That sounds like white and black, because the purity of the black bone had to be zealously guarded. So they had to make sure that their tribe withstood what was going on with them, even unto not marrying somebody who is white. Punishment for disloyalty and even for a breach of discipline was swift and just, irrespective of caste. In other words, the black and white labels weren't based on clothing colors or artistic conventions, but actual racial distinctions that have mostly faded with time and intermarriage. People like the black Lolo were able to remain chocolate colored as late as the 1950s because of their strict marriage laws. Where did these dark people come from? We began the section by talking about the racial differences found between the light and dark-skinned people of China. So how do we explain the origins of this difference? Some of these people, like the Naki and Black Lolo, have cultural traditions and features that make them seem related to the Anu, the black travelers we'll discuss in part 2. Other clues suggest that these communities are rooted in the ancestral black populations that first settled all of Asia. Geomorphologist George F. Carter once proposed. Now, I love how this author is not quoting his own research. He's quoting other sources and other people and other archaeologists, geomorphologists, and other people that are giving their factual statements on things. Chinese history is that of the Mongoloid people from the northwest of China, pushing out the Negrito people of Southeast Asia. Let's read that again. Chinese history is that of the Mongoloid people from the northwest of China, pushing out the Negrito people of Southeast Asia, who as late as the early centuries AD were still the prominent people of South China. Indeed, in a real sense, they are still there, for the short, dark South Chinese are pretty clearly the result of the mixture of the Mongols with the smaller, darker folk who had long been there. In other words, foreigners came from the northwest and took over, changing the face of China forever. Yet these outsiders, who the ancient Chinese called Western barbarians, weren't the authors of Chinese civilization. Instead, it was the dark people of China, who should be associated, as Li Shi says, with the making of Chinese history from the beginning. So let's go back to the beginning. And that's where I started yesterday's video. So I just have to throw that in there. I don't want to make this video too long. I really hope you enjoy this information. Like I said, you know, this information is better when you just listen to this. You know what I mean? So when you're just watching it, I'm sure you probably get bored and like, I'm not interested. But when you're busy doing something and you just pop your earpiece in and you just listen to it, man, you can really get the best out of this information. Because I know my videos aren't the most advanced. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's information. The Black communities of China. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and ruffle through more of my books and see what interests me. If you guys have anything that you would like to, any particular place in the country, in the world, that you would like information on, please let me know, because I can read it to you. When the World Was Black, the Untold History of the World's First Civilizations. And if you don't like so-called quote-unquote pseudoscience, then please kick rocks, even though this is not pseudoscience, it's just factual evidence. You know, I know people like to use that word to dismiss all evidence without actually looking into what information is being provided. So it's your favorite Black guy from Nebraska. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Peace. God bless.